Alright, so I'm just going to record, obviously now, just your key presses and stuff.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, before we go through the home screen, if there's what you think of the home screen, and if there's anything in terms that looks unclear, or do you get how would you determine, like, what these functions are, or if you just open an app, what would your first impressions be, I guess?
Yeah, it's everything I need there. It looks like it from what I can see now, so it seems as though everything's there.
In terms of like comparison to any other apps that you've used, would it be?
I guess the difference is just the graphics are a bit more detailed. They're not really black and white and sketched. Other than that, it seems pretty simple.
Okay. All right. So if you were using the thing for the first time, and as we've said, that I guess in this case your role is to enter in a trip on a bus route that you take often. I guess let's begin, and I guess it should just work as a normal thing. Some buttons won't be hooked up, so just let me know if you're clicking something it's not happening.
All right.
And then I'll tell you what the result would be if you had clicked it and all that sort of stuff.
All right. So I'll click on get there. Do I click on the blue arrow?
You can click. The idea is that I guess you should try and. I can't answer the question about the user interface. What I can do is you can tell me what you've done. I can tell you the result.
Okay. Well, I clicked on the picture and nothing happened.
Okay. Get there's not actually linked.
Okay.
So I'll just treat that as that IUI is not clear for the task.
Yep. All right. Well, I've on my trips. You currently have no trips. Hit the plus button to input a trip. Once you have at least one trip defined, you'll be able to get there with someone else. Alright, so I'm just going to add a trip by pressing the plus button. Okay. Yep. So, where is your new trip from? I assume here means I get to choose where it's from. So I'm just going to click here. And nothing happens.
What would happen if you click here is it should dial in onto your GPS location for where you are here.
Okay. Yep. So I'm just going to click bus route.
Why?
Just to see what buses are available.
Okay.
I'm going to look for Monavale because that's where I'm going to hop on. Interesting. I pressed M.
Yeah, not all of the interactions there are hooked up,
okay.
So the assumption is that you can slide, and not all of the search things are. So if you had searched, obviously the standard iPhone search thing would happen and you would be able to zoom straight through it.
Okay.
Other than that, the intention is down the right-hand side there's a scroll bar, and the way that we've mocked up that prototype is that you tell me what you do. So what would you do in this screen to try and find, and I can tell you.
Alright, well, I'm going to press back because what I'd do is, by pressing back, it'd go back to, okay. I'd assume that would have gone back to the bus route main page.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is just press bus route again. And what I did at first is I pressed M for Monavale. That didn't work. So what I'll do is I'll type it to search.
Okay. So
which doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not hooked up. So,
no.
So yeah, then search. But that's really useful though, because it's exactly what we found in the other ones where you would go down on the thing first. So the way that I'll simulate that is that we'll pretend that you did go to the M's, and in this case what would occur is you would actually get to there.
Okay, yep. So what I'll do is...
Because these are the M's.
The 184 Monavale to City.
Yep. So you recognise that as your bus?
Yep.
Okay. Just checking that it wasn't because it was first on the list.
Okay.
Although it is technically on the Sydney bus timetable, so...
Yeah. So I'm going to start at Pittwater Road. And near nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah, or which one? I'm just going to pick the first one.
So yeah, in the information that you're given, it's identified by the number, but it's also, I guess you would be sitting at this stop, so you would be reading the exact same thing off the pole or whatever. So in this case, I can give you the info. It's actually this one here, which is Pittwater Road NR ST 29913, because that would be displayed on the actual. That's the official identifier. So that's
sure.
So that's the one you would know you were at.
Yep. So just selected that and took me back to the main new trip screen. At this stage, I'd want to know if it actually recorded it or not.
Okay.
But I assume it has, because it goes where are you going to now instead of where are you coming from. So.
Okay.
Yep. So where's my new trip to? I'll just select I guess suburb, as in selecting, because I'm going to the city, and that's not currently hooked up. So what I'll do is I'll just get a bus route. Yep, I've already selected this one, so
it's okay, no, everything's hooked up. So yeah, if you select the suburb, it would give you a list of the suburb where you would be able to go, and it would give you a list of standard locations, not just on the bus stop.
Okay. So I'm going to Carrington Street, so I'll just select Carrington Street, yep. And that's the view of my trip. I assume that would be on GPS.
Just hold it down a little bit, just to get in focus. Yeah, that's it. That'll do. A bit lower. Sorry, yeah, that'll do.
Add as trip destination, so I assume that's confirming it, so, yep. And that's the tone you get when you've selected your new trip.
That's my phone.
And I'm going to add the trip as a rider because I'm not driving.
Just a question on that actually is, if I hadn't explained to you, you asked earlier what a rider was if you were riding something else. So if you saw that for the first time without knowing...
No, I'd use the word passenger.
Okay. Thank you.
And I see that it says leave by, so I want to leave by 9 AM. So I'll just click the checkbox, which
it is actually working. Just try harder, because I think it's an old iPhone that the capacitive is not that good.
So leave, and then I'll click the box to put 9 in.
Let's assume it's blinking.
Yep. And then I assume this stuff.
Yep. So it's actually been assumed for you.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Oh, it's one of those smartphones.
What was the thing that you clicked on the keyboard?
To do what?
When you clicked on the keyboard to pre-fill it, where were you actually hitting?
On the checkbox.
And then after that, on the keyboard?
Well, actually, at first I clicked on leave by, and then I clicked on the checkbox.
Yeah. I think you clicked the field, and then on the keyboard.
Yeah.
What were you hitting on the keyboard?
For it to say 9 AM.
Yes.
Or the number thing.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So I assume I want to get there by, so I'll click that. And I have to checkbox again, I guess.
Okay, that's their exclusive options actually, so potentially they need to be radio buttons. It's one or the other.
Oh yeah, true.
Because, yeah, it's leave there or...
Yeah, so radio buttons are then checkbox, true. And flexibility mode, I got no idea what that means. I assume time is flexible, I don't know. I would scroll down, but there's no scroller.
Okay, would scroll. Yep. So it's not hooked up there. All the options are actually there. So if it had scrolled up, you would only see those 3 options. There's nothing below that.
Oh, okay.
So if we imagine that it has scrolled, Would you? Why would you have scrolled in the first instance?
To I don't know. Just to see if any other options were there that I thought would be necessary.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So I'm just going to click the tick to confirm it, I guess. Yep. And trip name.
It's going to pre-fill the value for you anyway.
Okay,
if you just hit whatever you would hit, then yeah, it should.
Yep, so
let's assume it's blinking.
Yep, work normal. Yep, by pressing K. And
it's pre-filled.
Yeah, no, I get it.
If I did every single letter press, it would be hard.
So it's press done, which doesn't do anything. So I assume just press tick.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And 96%.
What does that mean?
No idea.
Okay. If you were to guess?
If I was to guess, 96%. That's the status of it loading my trip. I don't know.
Okay. You would have never got that, so that's a good feedback point. I'll explain to you at the end what that is, because it'll be relevant for other trips, so for other tests. So,
yep. So, am I adding another trip?
That is actually the end of the task.
Okay.
You have added the trip, so you can try and hit home or whatever.
Yep. So I go home.
May not work. Yeah.
Yep. And now I just want to check to see if it's saved in my trips.
Yes. Okay. And the prototype it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It's actually not mocked up, but yes, it would. If you hit trips, it should be reflected there as part of the list for exactly what you called it.
Okay.
Thank you.